Welcome to TV3. On this week's episode, we'll be checking out some monsters, some robots, some heroes, I picked up some new knights, and of course, your feedback. But first, after about a week of voting, you all decided that TV3 will be this show's name. I take it you all like a good pun, so do I, and I think that fits the show perfectly. Now, personally, I was going for Off the Shelf, and a couple of my close friends told me that the V3 show actually sort of was the most appropriate name, but we gotta go with majority vote, and you guys said TV3. Also, at this point, I'd like to announce that this show will be a Monday show going forward. That's right, this show will always be aired on Monday. Morning, afternoon, I'm not too sure, but you could just know that Mondays will be when to look for the TV3 show. News this week kicks off with some monster talk, and we'll be looking at a new Godzilla toy from the people over at Bandai Tamashii Nations. Well, I say new, but technically this is just a recolor of the most recent SH Monster Arts Godzilla release. This is the Godzilla 2016 4th Form Awakening version, and as far as I can tell, it's just the same Godzilla toy. Instead, it has been painted with a more purplish tinge instead of all orange, and I think it looks hot. I really like this Godzilla design. I don't know why I didn't pick up the original version when it came out, but you know what, seeing the colors now in purple, I think this is the one to get. The only problem is that it is a Tamashii Web exclusive, or P Bandai, making it a bit tougher to acquire, but nevertheless, if you haven't picked up a Godzilla toy yet, or the 2016 Godzilla, this is probably the way to go. At the same time, Bandai also announced the latest addition to their NX Edge style toy line, and this is the Unit 02 from Evangelion. It's the red one for those who just want something simple, and being red, I'm probably more inclined to like it. I absolutely love this, and it looks cool. Now, they do have the original 01 out, and I believe 00 is on pre-order, and I didn't really have any intention to get these. However, now that the trio is out, I kind of do want more of them, and to be honest, NX Edge Style is a cool toy line. I just don't really get into it more because it's all Gundams, and I don't want more Gundam. I want these toy lines to expand for other robots, and let's face it, on top of the model kit selection, Bandai already has other toy lines dedicated to Gundam. There's Robot Spirits, there's Metal Build, there's Metal Robot Spirits, and then of course there's all their candy toy lines like Converge and Assault Kingdom and whatever's still out there. So any chance that they're gonna not do a Gundam character in a robot toy line, I'm all for it, and 02 has got me sold, and I will probably backtracking at 01 and 00. Speaking of Gundams and red things, the latest RG announcement was here, or I don't know if it's the latest, but it is one of the more recent announcements, and it is not really that new at all. In fact, it's just a repaint of the first Real Grade release, and that is the Real Grade 1/144th scale Gundam in Caswell colors, or the red one. It's red. I immediately like it. I do want it. I don't have the original RG Gundam, and so this is looking very tempting to me. The only thing I'll say is that as much as I think this is cool, I know what I actually want is the Master Grade Origin Gundam in these colors. And if I buy this Real Grade, it'll just be a holdover until what I want actually happens. It'll be a P Bandai exclusive, about 2,700 yen. Again, I'm on the fence on this one. I do want it, but I know it would just be a holdover purchase for me, so there we go. And last up in the news, have you guys heard of Pops? You know, Funko Pops, the true collector's toy. Well, basically, they've got every license under the sun, and of course, Overwatch is one of them. I love Overwatch, but I've tried to stay away from the Pops, but they've got me now. They have just announced their next lineup, and it includes a giant pop of D.Va with her mech. Now, I'm a D.Va main. D.Va's my girl. I love her. I'm gonna have to get this. I've tried to stay away from Pops as long as I could, but they finally broke me. Now, the thing is, with Pops is, the goal is to only get one. I only want to get one. But then, you know what? I look at the other Pops on the shelves, and every time I'm in the store, I see Tracer, and I'm like, Tracer's the main character. Not the main character, but she's the flagship girl, and it's sort of like, I should get that one. And then if you have that one, you also look at the other characters, and I see Mei, and it's just like, hey, Mei is bae. So you gotta get that one. And then 1 turns into 3, 3 turns into 6, and then suddenly you want them all, but then, of course, one of them was a Blizzard Store exclusive, which you can't get, so if you want Farah, she's like $75, and then it turns into this whole nightmare of a situation, and long story short, I only want D.Va. Chances are I'll end up with 12, or whatever, or how many they make. Yeah, it's sad, but that's what's gonna happen to me. Okay, so last week I showed you guys that I picked up the LEGO Nexo Knights Fortrix, and I still haven't built it, but there was a couple of things I noticed. It only came with 3 of the 5 knights, so I figured I should fill out the rest of the cast. So this week I went out and bought some clearance LEGO, and luckily I found the Lance's Mecha Horse, so I got Lance. I picked up Macy's Thunder Mace, so I got Macy, and then while I was at it, because it was still on sale, I got the Nexo Knights Squire Robin. I believe this is the Ultimate Robin. Grand total for this was just about 25 bucks, so I feel pretty good about that. 25 bucks for a good amount of Lego. So I filled out the ranks. I don't know how much farther I'm going to go into the original Season 1 stuff, but so far I am pretty satisfied. On to my favorite part of the show, the comment section. So here we go. First one's from Kazuki Soji. What do you think about the new Mezco 1/12 collective releases? I really like the idea of 1/12 collective. I said that from the day that they announced it, and I picked up their first release of The Dark Knight Returns, and I really like it. But I was surprised, or not surprised, I guess it should have been expected. They have stuck to really just hardcore comic book characters, and I've recently come to the terms that I don't really care about the comic book characters. Like, I like the movie stuff, I watch the TV shows, but when it comes to their source material, you know, the stuff that the real nerds love, I don't like that. Or at least I'm not interested. I guess that makes me a casual or whatnot, but yeah, it's not really for me, and that's what the new, or that seems to be what 1/12 is all about right now. They do have some cool Star Trek things, and I wish I liked Star Trek more so that I could support that, but at the moment they don't really interest me. What I would really like to see is them expand out into other franchises, most notably video games. I would love things like, what if I got a Geralt, Triss, Yennefer from The Witcher, or characters from Mass Effect. I would love, say, you know, Tali, Rex, Jack. Those would be awesome. But as it stands right now, 1/12 is cool for what it's doing, but it's until it strays away from the hardcore comic book stuff, I'm probably gonna stick away from it too. Extreme S Manpig wants to know, have I ever thought about buying a third-party Gundam kit like Dragon Momoko's Metal Build Destiny Gundam? It looks so sick. There's 2 questions in here. First of all, I'm going to address the Dragon Momoko thing. Why would I buy the Metal Build Destiny Gundam model kit when I could just buy the Metal Build Destiny Gundam? I'm not going to build it better than the way that Metal Build is being produced, so I just don't see any point in that. As for third-party Gundam kits, good question. I mean, it's definitely a market out there, and I'm not against the idea of third-party items, but I just don't think I like Gundam enough to want to go down that path yet. Maybe one day, maybe if they do something incredible, like, I don't know, Master Grade Camp for Amazing from Build Fighters, but until then, like, there's really been nothing there in that market that's really interested me. What's your opinion on Kamen Rider X8? Best Kamen Rider since Forza, in my opinion. The video game theme is awesome. It's so high energy and intense and fun, and it really gets across what, to me, I feel like Kamen Rider and Tokusatsu is about, and that's about selling toys and having fun and just being awesome. I totally recommend it. I understand if, you know, older fans would like something a bit darker, a bit more serious. And X8, you know what? It is showing signs of that maybe being an underlying theme, but as it stands, I'm having a lot of fun with it, and that's all I could really ask for. Would I ever consider doing live streams of myself building? I mean, it depends. Like, what do you guys want to see? Me just build without anything? Because I don't know if I could build and then also tell you what I'm doing at the same time. Like, I wouldn't be able to commentate on my own building. And if that were the case, what would be the point of watching, right? It would be fun to build with someone else with me, and then we could strike up a conversation. Or even if it was just, you know, a live group build. But then again, I don't really have anyone I could do that with. So that kind of rules out that scenario too. Who knows? If you guys really want live streams, like if I see enough interest and demand for it, then maybe, but at the moment, not something I have planned. What do I use to create my videos? Pretty simple. I'm currently using an iPhone 6. This is a Blue Yeti mic for the audio. I have a MacBook Air, and what I'm recording on is GarageBand, and then I edit in Final Cut Pro X? Is that what it's called? Final, or is it just Final Cut X? I can't remember. It's the new one, the one that a lot of people didn't really like, but is getting slowly better and better. For me, it's just the most economical setup. I would love to get a DSLR, but with all the toys I buy, I can never save up enough for a new camera, so I just stick with my phone. And that's why you could tell the quality is not as great as everyone else. Last question is from Rudy Loves Ray. What are some of the toys you really want to purchase but can't due to it being overpriced? Good question. I think, anything that I really want, basically I can either budget or save up long enough to get it. It's the discipline of doing that. For example, for the longest time I wanted, I believe it's Konami's Great Impact Gurren Lagann. And I believe it goes on eBay for north of $600 right now. I really want it. Now, is it out of my budget? Is it unquestionable for a toy like that? Totally. But at the same time, if you really like something and if you really want something and if you believe it's important to you, then I think, if you could just save long enough or whatever, you can definitely buy it and totally justify the crazy cost. But again, I don't really have that discipline. I think, if I stopped, let's say, buying things monthly or just trying to keep up with this channel and doing new releases and whatnot, then definitely I could probably go back into my backlog and pick up anything I wanted. But at the moment, it's just not something that I'm prioritizing right now. There are other items out there which I can't get, but these are more just due to rarity than anything else. Like, they just don't show up on the market, and I still regret not getting the Studio Half-Eye Gurren Lagann, the painted one. So, who knows? I mean, totally, a lot of things are overpriced and maybe not worth it, but I definitely believe that if you just put your mind to something and if you believe that it's really worth it to you, you can definitely get it or whatnot. But there you have it. That's another show in the bag, and that's another week done. Remember, if you have any comments you wanted to address or say, leave them in the comment section below. Last week, I saw a lot of you guys were saying that the Barbatos Lupus Rex looks like a T-Rex, and I just have to say, what's wrong with all of you? There is nothing about that design that looks like a T-Rex. If it wasn't called Rex, would you even say that? First of all, a T-Rex has no hands. Have you seen the Lupus Rex? Its hands and arms are massive. You guys are crazy. Okay, bye.